The Galactic Empire stretched across countless star systems, its dominion unchallenged for millennia. Its fleets were vast, its technology unparalleled, and its culture rigidly hierarchical. Strength, discipline, and unyielding authority were the pillars upon which the Empire stood. To the Empire, all other species were either tools to be used or obstacles to be crushed. And among these lesser beings, humans were particularly perplexing. Small in stature, lacking natural armor or claws, and seemingly divided into two fragile subcategories, male and female, they appeared to embody weakness. The Empire scholars had long concluded that human females, in particular, were soft, emotional, and unfit for any role beyond nurturing. This assumption had gone unchallenged until the day the human envoy arrived. The envoy's ship, a sleek vessel of human design, descended onto the Empire's central docking platform on the capital world of Zorith. The Empire's officials, clad in their gleaming silver uniforms, watched with thinly veiled disdain as the ramp lowered. They expected a delegation of human males, perhaps accompanied by a few meek females for decorative purposes. Instead, a single figure emerged, a human woman. She was tall by human standards, her posture straight and confident, her dark hair pulled back into a practical braid. Her eyes, a piercing shade of green, scanned the platform with an intensity that made even the most seasoned Imperial officers uneasy. She wore a simple yet elegant uniform, devoid of the ostentatious embellishments favored by the Empire, and carried herself with an air of quiet authority. The Empire's lead diplomat, High Commander Vrax, stepped forward, his mandibles twitching in what passed for a smile among his species. "Welcome to Zorith," he said, his voice dripping with condescension. "We were informed of your arrival, though we expected a more substantial delegation." The envoy's lips curved into a faint smile, though her eyes remained sharp. "I am Commander Elena Reyes," she said, her voice calm but firm. "I am here to represent humanity in our discussions with the Galactic Empire. I assure you, I am more than capable of handling this matter on my own." Vrax's mandibles twitched again, this time in irritation. He had dealt with countless species, and none had dared to address him with such casual confidence. "Very well," he said, gesturing toward the Grand Hall. "Let us proceed." As they walked, Vrax couldn't help but notice the way Reyes moved. Graceful yet deliberate, her every step exuding a quiet strength. It unsettled him. The Empire scholars had assured him that human females were fragile, emotional creatures, unsuited for leadership or combat. Yet here was one, standing tall and unyielding, her presence commanding respect. He pushed the thought aside, attributing her demeanor to human eccentricity. The negotiations began in the Grand Hall, a cavernous room adorned with banners depicting the Empire's greatest victories. Reyes took her seat at the massive table, her posture relaxed yet alert. Vrax and his advisors sat across from her, their expressions a mixture of curiosity and disdain. "Let us begin," Vrax said, his tone dismissive. "The Galactic Empire has graciously agreed to hear your proposal. Speak, and we shall decide if it is worth our time." Reyes leaned forward slightly, her gaze locking onto Vrax's. "Thank you, High Commander. Humanity seeks an alliance with the Galactic Empire. We believe our strengths complement each other, and together, we could achieve great things." Vrax let out a low, rumbling laugh. "An alliance? With humans? Your species is weak, divided, and insignificant. What could you possibly offer the Empire?" Reyes's smile didn't waver. "Strength is not always measured by size or brute force, High Commander. Humanity has faced countless challenges and emerged stronger each time. We have a resilience that your scholars have overlooked." Vrax's mandibles twitched again, this time in annoyance. "Resilience? Your females are soft, emotional creatures, unfit for the rigors of leadership or combat. How can a species that coddles its weak hope to stand beside the Empire?" Reyes's expression hardened, and for the first time, a flicker of anger crossed her face. "You speak of things you do not understand, High Commander. Your assumptions about human women are based on ignorance, not fact. Vrax leaned back, his mandibles spreading in a mocking grin. Enlighten us, then. What is a woman, as you call her, if not a fragile being meant to serve and nurture? Reyes took a deep breath, her gaze never leaving Vrax's. A woman, she began, her voice steady but laced with intensity, is a force of nature. She is strength, resilience, and determination personified. She is a warrior, a leader, a creator. She is the foundation upon which civilizations are built. To underestimate her is to invite your own downfall. The room fell silent, the weight of her words hanging in the air. Vrax and his advisors exchanged uneasy glances. They had expected meekness, subservience, perhaps even tears. Instead, they were faced with a woman who radiated power and conviction. Your words are bold, Vrax said at last, his tone cautious. But words alone mean nothing. The Empire values action, not empty rhetoric. Reyes nodded. Then allow me to demonstrate. I propose a series of tests, physical, mental, and strategic, to prove the capabilities of human women. Let your best soldiers compete against me, and you will see the truth for yourself. Vrax hesitated, his mandibles twitching as he considered her proposal. The idea was preposterous, yet there was something in her eyes, a fire, a determination, that gave him pause. Very well, he said at last. We shall see if your words hold merit. But know this, if you fail, humanity will be deemed unworthy of the Empire's attention. Reyes stood, her gaze unwavering. I accept your terms, High Commander. Prepare your tests. I will not fail. As she turned and walked out of the hall, Vrax couldn't shake the feeling that he had just made a grave miscalculation. The human envoy was unlike anyone he had ever encountered, and her confidence was both infuriating and intriguing. For the first time in his long career, he found himself questioning the Empire's assumptions. The stage was set, the challenge issued. The Galactic Empire, so certain of its superiority, was about to learn a lesson it would never forget. And at the center of it all was Commander Elena Reyes, a woman who embodied the strength and resilience of her species. The Empire thought women were soft, until the human explained what a woman really was. The Imperial training grounds on Zorith were a sprawling complex of obstacle courses, combat arenas, and simulation chambers, designed to test the limits of even the Empire's most elite soldiers. Towering spires of durasteel and glass loomed over the grounds, casting long shadows as the sun dipped below the horizon. The air buzzed with anticipation as Commander Elena Reyes stepped onto the field, her presence drawing the attention of every soldier, technician, and observer in the vicinity. The Empire had assembled its best warriors bred for strength, speed, and unyielding discipline. They stood in formation, their armored forms gleaming under the artificial lights, their expressions a mixture of curiosity and disdain. High Commander Vrax watched from a raised platform, his mandibles twitching in what might have been amusement or irritation. Beside him stood General Krell, a hulking figure with a reputation for brutality, and Scholar Tin, the Empire's foremost expert on alien physiology. Tin's multifaceted eyes glimmered with scientific curiosity as she observed Reyes, her data pad clutched tightly in her clawed hands. This is a waste of time, Krell growled, his deep voice reverberating through the platform. A human female cannot possibly compete with our warriors. She will break within moments. Perhaps, Tin replied, her tone measured. But there is something about her that defies our understanding. I am curious to see how she performs. Reyes surveyed the course with a calm expression, her hands resting lightly on her hips. She had been briefed on the challenges ahead, but she showed no sign of apprehension. If anything, there was a glimmer of determination in her eyes, a quiet confidence that unnerved those who watched her. Begin, Vrax commanded, his voice echoing across the grounds. Reyes moved like a shadow, her body a blur of motion as she navigated the course with precision and grace. She scaled the walls with ease, her movements fluid and efficient. She balanced on the narrow beams as if they were solid ground, her focus unshakable. When she reached the electrified barriers, she paused for only a moment, studying the patterns of the currents before darting through with flawless timing. The Empire's soldiers watched in stunned silence as she completed the course in record time, her breathing steady and her expression composed. Krell's fists clenched, his frustration evident. "She is agile," he admitted grudgingly. "But agility means little in combat. Proceed to the next test," Vrax ordered, his tone betraying none of his thoughts. The second test was a combat simulation, pitting Reyes against one of the Empire's most skilled warriors, Lieutenant Drac, a towering figure with a reputation for unmatched ferocity. The arena was a circular pit surrounded by energy barriers, designed to contain the combatants while allowing the audience to observe every move. Drac stepped into the pit, his armored form casting an imposing shadow. He carried a plasma blade, its hum filling the air as he activated it, the weapon's glow reflecting in his cold, calculating eyes. Reyes entered the pit unarmed, her expression calm but focused. The crowd murmured in surprise, and even Drac hesitated, his blade lowering slightly. "You have no weapon," he said, his voice a low rumble. "I don't need one," Reyes replied, her tone even. Drac's eyes narrowed, and he lunged forward, his blade slicing through the air with deadly precision. Reyes sidestepped the attack with ease, her movements almost too fast to follow. She countered with a swift strike to Drac's side, her fist connecting with a resounding thud. The impact forced him to stagger, his armor absorbing the blow but leaving him momentarily off balance. The crowd erupted in gasps and murmurs. Drac recovered quickly, his attacks becoming more aggressive, but Reyes anticipated every move. She used his momentum against him, dodging and weaving with a grace that seemed almost supernatural. When she finally disarmed him, it was with a precise kick that sent the plasma blade skittering across the pit. She followed up with a series of rapid strikes, each one calculated to incapacitate without causing permanent harm. Within moments, Drac was on his knees, his breathing labored and his pride shattered. The arena fell silent, the only sound the faint hum of the energy barriers. Reyes stepped back, her expression calm but resolute. "Yield," she said, her voice carrying the weight of authority. Drac hesitated, then bowed his head. "I yield," he muttered, his voice barely audible. The crowd erupted in a mix of cheers and murmurs, their disbelief palpable. Vrax's mandibles twitched, his thoughts a whirlwind of confusion and admiration. Krell's frustration had turned to outright anger, while Tin's eyes gleamed with newfound respect. "Proceed to the final test," Vrax commanded, his voice cutting through the noise. The final test was a strategic simulation, designed to evaluate tactical thinking and leadership under pressure. Reyes was placed in command of a small squad of Imperial soldiers, tasked with defending a simulated outpost against a relentless wave of enemy drones. The soldiers, still reeling from her earlier displays, regarded her with a mixture of skepticism and reluctant respect. Reyes wasted no time, issuing commands with clarity and confidence. She positioned her squad strategically, using the terrain to their advantage. When the drones attacked, she remained calm under pressure, adapting her tactics on the fly. Her squad followed her lead without hesitation, their initial doubts replaced by unwavering trust. Together, they repelled the attack, their coordination flawless and their efficiency unmatched. As the simulation ended, the soldiers turned to Reyes, their expressions a mix of awe and admiration. She had not only proven her own capabilities but had also inspired them to perform at their best. The crowd erupted in applause, their earlier skepticism replaced by genuine respect. Vrax stepped forward, his mandibles twitching as he struggled to find the right words. "Commander Reyes," he began, his tone measured but tinged with respect. "You have proven yourself beyond doubt. The Empire underestimated you. For that, we apologize." Reyes nodded, her expression calm but resolute. "Thank you, High Commander. But this is not just about me. It's about challenging your assumptions and recognizing the potential in others. Humanity has much to offer, but only if you are willing to see us as equals." Vrax hesitated, his gaze shifting to the crowd of soldiers and officials who had witnessed her triumph. For the first time in his long career, he felt the weight of his own ignorance. The Empire's beliefs, so deeply ingrained, had been shaken to their core. And at the center of it all was Commander Elena Reyes, a woman who had defied every expectation and proven the strength of her kind. As the sun set over Zorith, casting the training grounds in a golden glow, the Empire stood at a crossroads. The challenge had been met, the truth revealed. But the journey was far from over. The Empire had thought women were soft, until the human explained what a woman really was. And now they would never see the galaxy the same way again. The Grand Hall of the Imperial Palace on Zorith was a stark contrast to the training grounds where Commander Elena Reyes had proven her mettle. Here, the air was thick with the scent of incense, and the walls were adorned with intricate carvings depicting the Empire's long history of conquest and dominance. The room was filled with the Empire's highest-ranking officials, their silver uniforms gleaming under the soft glow of the overhead lights. They had gathered to witness the culmination of the events that had unfolded over the past days, events that had shaken the very foundations of their beliefs. Commander Reyes stood at the center of the hall, her posture as composed as ever. She had exchanged her practical uniform for a more formal attire, a sleek black suit that accentuated her presence without compromising her authority. Her green eyes scanned the room, taking in the faces of those who had once dismissed her, but now regarded her with a mixture of respect and unease. High Commander Vrax stood beside her, his mandibles twitching as he prepared to address the assembly. Members of the Imperial Council, Vrax began, his voice carrying the weight of his position. We have witnessed something extraordinary. Commander Elena Reyes of the human species has challenged our assumptions and proven her worth in ways we could not have imagined. It is time for us to reconsider our stance on humanity and on the role of females within our own society. The room erupted in murmurs, the officials exchanging glances filled with uncertainty and intrigue. General Krell, seated near the front, clenched his fists but remained silent, his earlier frustration tempered by the undeniable evidence of Reyes's capabilities. Scholar Tin, her multifaceted eyes gleaming with curiosity, leaned forward, eager to hear what would come next. Reyes stepped forward, her gaze sweeping across the assembly. "Thank you, High Commander," she said, her voice calm but resonant. "I stand before you not just as a representative of humanity, but as a testament to the strength and resilience of women everywhere. The Galactic Empire has long underestimated the potential of females, both within your own species and beyond. It is time to change that." She paused, allowing her words to sink in. The room was silent, every eye fixed on her. "Strength is not defined by physical power alone," she continued. "It is found in intelligence, in adaptability, in the ability to lead and inspire. These are qualities that know no gender. By embracing this truth, the Empire can become stronger, more united, and more just." The murmurs returned, louder this time, as the officials debated her words. Some nodded in agreement, their expressions thoughtful, while others shook their heads, their faces etched with skepticism. Vrax raised a hand, silencing the room once more. "Commander Reyes has shown us the error of our ways," he said. "But change does not come easily. We must take concrete steps to address the inequalities within our society. I propose the formation of a council, comprised of both males and females, to oversee this transformation." The proposal was met with mixed reactions. Some officials applauded, their voices ringing with approval, while others protested, their objections loud and vehement. Reyes remained calm, her expression unreadable as she watched the debate unfold. She knew that change would not come overnight, but she had planted the seeds, and they were beginning to take root. As the discussion continued, a figure rose from the back of the room. It was Lieutenant Drac, the warrior Reyes had defeated in the combat simulation. His face was a mask of determination as he stepped forward, his voice cutting through the noise. "I stand with Commander Reyes," he declared, his tone firm. "I have seen her strength firsthand, and I know that she speaks the truth. The Empire must evolve if we are to remain strong." His words carried weight, and the room fell silent once more. Even Krell, who had been one of Reyes's most vocal critics, seemed to waver, his expression conflicted. Reyes nodded to Drac, a silent acknowledgement of his support. She knew that his endorsement would go a long way in swaying the opinions of those who still doubted. The debate continued for hours, the officials grappling with the implications of the proposed changes. Reyes remained at the center of it all, her presence a constant reminder of the strength and resilience she embodied. She answered questions, addressed concerns, and offered insights that challenged even the most entrenched beliefs. By the time the assembly adjourned, the mood in the room had shifted. The resistance had not disappeared, but it had been tempered by a growing sense of possibility. As the officials filed out of the hall, Vrax turned to Reyes, his mandibles twitching in what might have been a smile. "You have given us much to consider," he said. "The road ahead will not be easy, but I believe it is a road worth taking." Reyes nodded, her expression thoughtful. "Change is never easy," she replied, "but it is necessary. The Empire has the potential to be a force for good in the galaxy, but only if it is willing to embrace the strengths of all its members." Vrax hesitated, then extended a hand, a gesture of respect that was rare among his kind. Reyes clasped it firmly, her grip strong and unwavering. In that moment, the two leaders stood as equals, their shared understanding bridging the gap between their species. As Reyes left the hall, she was met by a group of Imperial soldiers, their expressions a mix of admiration and curiosity. Among them was Drac, who stepped forward with a respectful nod. "Commander," he said, his tone earnest, "I would be honored to learn from you. If you are willing, I would like to train under your guidance." Reyes smiled, a genuine warmth in her eyes. "The honor would be mine," she replied. "Strength is not just about physical power. It's about understanding, respect, and the willingness to grow. Together, we can build a better future." The soldiers nodded, their expressions filled with determination. Reyes knew that the journey ahead would be long and fraught with challenges, but she also knew that the seeds of change had been planted. The Empire had thought women were soft, until the human explained what a woman really was. And now they were beginning to understand. As she walked through the corridors of the Imperial Palace, Reyes felt a sense of quiet satisfaction. She had done what she had set out to do, but her work was far from over. The galaxy was vast, and there were countless others who needed to hear her message. But for now, she allowed herself a moment of reflection, her thoughts turning to the future and the possibilities it held. The Empire was changing, and with it, the galaxy. And at the heart of it all was Commander Elena Reyes, a woman who had defied every expectation and proven that strength knows no gender. The journey was just beginning, but the path was clear. And for the first time in a long time, the Empire was ready to take the first step.